Hey, I've noticed something. My videos that have the most views in 5 games 5 minutes are the ones where there are bad games being trashed. Here are some terrible games. Night Strike is a game like one of those electric buzzer machines you find at fairgrounds. You need to guide a helicopter around a very narrow maze without letting any part of it touch the wall, or any of the patrolling hot air balloons. It is awful to look at and sickening to play. The helicopter, which is the most ridiculously narrow thing I've ever seen, moves at a different speed depending on whether you're moving it horizontally or vertically. And just when you're getting the hang of it, it speeds up. The instructions say that this is to, quote, help, unquote, you if you're running out of time. Yeah, help you by suddenly completely changing the controls you're used to, please. If the game genuinely rewarded real skill, then Night Strike could just about manage to climb off the bottom rung of Electron games. As it is, it only cost $1.99 back in the day, but even that was a rip-off. In Woks, you are told that you must recover 8 Woks from a number of looms. Are you wondering why I'm speaking like this? Well, according to Woks, you should always speak in a Chinese accent as you play it. This presumably means that you should call the game lubbish or clap. To my mind, it takes a really special type of game to go wrong at the, quote, displaying the instructions, unquote, stage. Firstly, we have the Chinese accent nonsense. Then we have the fact that the new font makes them very difficult to read. When the game itself finally starts, the objective is simply to collect a number of Woks and avoid 1 or 2 of the Chinese guys. This isn't particularly difficult, but the jerky movement and the inability to combine jumping with a direction key is. There's some variety introduced by the level designs, but this is bad. After 2 minutes, I found myself wanting to stab my own eyes out with the complimentary chopsticks included with each purchase. Paperboy is a monochrome 3-dimensional scrolling arcade game. In it, you play a paperboy delivering newspapers to the neighbourhood, and you have to avoid pedestrians, radio-controlled cars, Sinclair C5s, workmen and drains. You can ride on either the pavement or the road, and you need to plot your route carefully. Now, this game is, on the standard Electron, painfully slow. The paper round can take over 10 minutes to scroll past from beginning to end. Now, you might think that there's a big area to scroll and the Electron doesn't have the brute processing power to do it. However, when you come off your bike, or if you hold down shift to turbo speed, the game speeds up by a factor of 4. So the memory isn't holding it back at all, it's actually just very poorly designed. It's always a good idea to lob 2 newspapers at the empty mailboxes rather than 1, because there are zillions of fill-ups littering the street. At the end, there's also an obstacle course giving bonus points. I think the game's worth seeing, but playing it is far too annoying. The Great Wall is a Hunchback clone, with one important difference. Instead of including 10 wall sections to master, this game has 512. It describes this as a challenge not for the faint of heart. Considering you'll probably lose all of your lives by level 7, I can think of a more fitting description. The movement of all the characters on the wall is jerky. It plays like a basic type-in, feeling extremely amateurish and clunky. It also makes the mistake of forcing you to choose the sound and music options every single time you play it. I mean, obviously it's nice that it includes 4 backing tunes, but why not just change them depending on the level? Very surprisingly, however, it does sort of grow on you after a few tries. I say that in no way meaning you should download and play it, of course. You should not. I mean only that, despite how rubbish it is, you can actually have some fun with it, once you get past your disgust. Abbis is one of the most dated looking games you'll find on the Electron. It's written entirely in BASIC, and it was probably written in a single afternoon. The objective is to get from the starting point of a chain of links to the end point. You move using the cursor keys. As you move around, you get messages saying that the bridge links are creaking. I think these are meant to add tension. Instead, they're just unnecessary. With every move that you make comes the threat of a sub-game. In these, anything can happen, both fair and unfair. You can be asked to remember long sequences of random letters, work out whether a mathematical sum is correct or not, avoid giant rats, steer your way across another maze, or simply retype a word that flashes up on the screen? Perhaps I should ask Clarence Boddicker from the film RoboCop to comment on Abbis. Clarence, what do you think?
What is this shit?